Everything's laid out bare. We just need to assemble the parts. So between the assembly 2 weeks ago, I ordered some new MCUs. I think it's called micro something urethane. This is what I ended up getting from a eBay seller. I think it was SG something Shox. I did want to order some myself from a French supplier, but the actual cost with postage came up to about the same, and these were already pre-cut. So I got some yellow, which is soft, and then red, which is hard. Red, which seems to be, according to the set I asked as well, 60A in hardness. But the red ones are similar to the originals. First thing we're going to do is swap out the old microcellular urethanes with the new ones. So I'm going to do a mix and match, yellow, red. I don't know, we'll see what happens with that. It'll be better than what it was before. Nothing complicated. There's 6 on each side of these parts, and the new ones seem to pop on pretty easily onto those plastic kind of spacers between each one. So there's 5 of those spacers, by the way, if you need a reference. So I'm going to go for a red-yellow combination. I'm going to smear a little bit of Teflon grease on here. You can definitely buy grease that's specially made for this, but I have a feeling that this will be fine for what we're going to be doing. So we'll put the first one. Looks like it's popped in, I think. And so forth. So I'm going to grease up after when I put this. I just don't want this in the way. So I'm going to do the same for the other side, and that way it's prepared. And now that's the other side done. Right, so this is the interior of the cartridge in case you need to change the oil in yours. And that's what I'm going to do on mine. If you read the service manual from Rockshox, it's involving fishing lines and their specialist tools. I don't have none of that. Well, I've got fishing lines, so I'm going to try that out. I don't know what that's supposed to do. Probably to remove some of the air pockets, possibly, when we're going to be doing this. So there's this plastic cap, and by the way, this is the threaded side here, so that you know. There's then a seal. There's like a metal ring, an O-ring. There's then this spring, which I didn't remove. There is a kind of thin seal right here. The main body, you'll see there's a ridge, and that's going to go through that like so. And on the other end, there is another seal, which I removed earlier. The seal in place, that's going to go on top this. There's then this plastic part. I don't think it makes a difference what side it's on, which sits on the top. And then after, we're going to have a snap ring. Now we're going to do the oil. We're going to now put the oil inside. Okay, first attempt was a flop, so I'm now going to try another method. Essentially what was really the problem is that this seal that you need to put in, I couldn't push it down, so I need to do it the other way around. Yeah, so I need to put it in through the interior from the looks of it. So anyway, I'm going to be able to push it through. So we're going to put that this way. And once that's like that, you can then push it through to the other end. Oh. There's actually a plastic cap then on the other side. That's going to go here. Okay, so I'm going to place the circlip on the top of the cartridge. Looks like it's in the right place. So since that failed quite badly, I'm now going to put the shaft back in. Okay, it's in. Right, we're going to put that all the way to the bottom. And now we're going to pour some oil, and then we're going to put the rest of the bits in and see what happens when we do that. So I'm going to fit it to the all the way to the top again. I'm now going to put the plastic O-ring on top. That metal washer shaped thing. And now on the seal I'm going to put again a fishing line going through, and that might push out the air bubbles, hopefully. We'll find out. You know what, even before putting the seal back on, I can see already by lifting this up and down the shaft that air bubbles are slowly coming out on its own. I've now filled it to the top. It doesn't appear to be any new air bubbles. I'm about to put the seal with the fishing line going through. Now going to push down so you can see the oil is coming out. And by pulling on the fishing line there, you can see I'm getting rid of the last bits of air. There's nothing coming out now. Yeah, so after doing that for a while, it looks like it's good and it doesn't look like it's leaking. So on the other end here, the part where it's the bottom part of the tube, we're going to now put this plastic ring that's going to go over it. We're going to now take this shaft end plate. It's essentially where the MCUs are going to be sitting on top, and we're going to then take the cartridge, and that's going to sit on the top, and then we want to take the lower tube and we're going to be putting this up. Sorry, I forgot this plastic end part there is going to go through. And then we're going to put the wavy washer and the circlip. Put the wavy washer in. There's a ridge on the interior here, and that's where the circlip's going to kind of sit in place. So we'll use this to push it in. You basically want this to be seated in place. Right, it's the morning. I'm going to finish off this fork and get it out of the way. I've got some coffee. We're going to pop the lower tube, or upper tube, sorry, into the crown. I'm going to just open this up slightly using a flathead screwdriver. Allows me to slide this on better. I'm going to put that to the top. That looks about right. And then we're going to use a number 5 to secure this down. I'm now going to put the other top tube in. So for reference, the neutral shaft, you'll have this plastic washer. I guess that acts like a dampener against this shaft right here, and that's where the MCUs are going to push against, so that just pops on the top. And then you have this upper guide seal. You have that metal ring that's stuck on here, and then you have a type of seal bushing here and here. I've been very generous with this grease, so we're going to now push this up. See how that goes. So this part here, you really want to get it inside enough to be able to then insert the circlips. Try and see if I can knock it in gently like this using a Allen wrench. Seems to be going in further. We can now grab the clip and we're going to put it inside. Make sure that's slotted into the ridge. For the lower tubes, we need to put the wipers back on. I'm going to add a bit of grease on the interior here to allow it to slide on very easily. And then you're going to need to push that in. You can pretty much put the boots on now. Mine seem to be going on really easily. I'm going to look if I've got a, what's it called again, like a strap. Maybe hold these down. I think we could now add some grease on these upper tubes. I guess you don't want any little particles on this, as it will rub on the interior then. We're now going to push up the tubes. Okay. Right. So now I'm going to put the other tube in. We're now going to put the 2 bolts that go at the bottom of the shaft. Put a little bit of Loctite on, and yeah, it should be good. Make sure the bolt that you take for the cartridge side, so that will be on your right, my left. The bolt has a hole in it to obviously access the interior bolt for adjustments inside the cartridge. So make sure you put that on the right side. You want to lift up the lower tube until you can reach the shaft to be able to bolt this down. And then we'll do the other side. I'm going to now add on the bridge or the brace, I can't remember what they call it. So I would have liked to have done the zip ties before putting this, but unfortunately I can't find it. So there you go, lesson learned. You need to put your stuff away. I'm now tightening the bolts at the bottom of the lower tube. You probably don't want to do them too tight. We're now going to put the MCUs, elastomers, inside. Be careful when you're holding these, because once they're greased up, they're very slippery. So we're going to put the snake in the hole. Right. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to let that go for now. And the other one. Make sure you lift this all the way up, that knob for the adjustment, as it was making it hard to push down those MCUs. Right, I'm going to need a probably a plier to finish off doing that. I'm going to re-tighten these because I undid them earlier on. I untightened these to work on this brace. In the end, I think this is actually better to put on before you start lifting up the lower tubes onto the upper tubes. Final test. I'm so confident that, yep, I can see that they're working. Right then, job done. We'll find out soon enough once I put them on a bike and really test them if the oil is going to blow at the bottom at one point. Hopefully not. So they're pretty much as rubbish as they always were. So I hope this helped you build, service your Rockshox Judy XC from 95, 96. Until next time, peace out.